Good afternoon. I am Dr. Wasim Sajjad, an intervention cardiology fellow in Leading Hospital, Peshawar. The title of my case is
काइंडली थोड़ा जोर से बोलें.
The title of my case is Out of Frying Pan into the Fire. First, I'll give you a brief account of the patient history, and then we'll discuss the cornea angiogram. A 14-year-old young boy, known case of aortic stenosis, presented to OPD with palpitations and NYHA class 3 dyspnea. He had no significant past history. On examination, he was widely stable. Heart sound showed ejection systolic murmur on aortic area. Echo was done, which showed severe aortic stenosis. His BAV was planned by Pete's colleagues. During BAV, what happened is that the IMA catheter, which was used to wire the aortic valve, its tip broke off and it snugly fixed into the circumflex. In the meantime, adult cardiology team was called for help. Let me show you the clips. You can see in this clip the broken tip of the catheter. Okay, so you can see this broken tip of catheter into the proximal circumflex. So, yes. We were not planning to do coronaries, but unfortunately, when the catheter broke off, we were searching for it, and what we found is that it was found in the proximal circumflex. What we were planning how to retrieve this broken piece of catheter. We took a BMW guide wire. We planned balloon assisted retrieval of this broken piece of catheter. And we crossed it with a BMW guide wire, and we took a balloon, inflated it with a low pressure. And as we were retrieving it, unfortunately, it flew into a distal circulation. You can see. I want to show it to you again. You can see. Now we were not sure where it has gone, so we checked the coronaries. Coronaries were fine, and patient was asymptomatic, hemodynamically stable. And we started a search operation for this piece of catheter. So we first did distal aortogram, and you can see this broken piece of catheter, but we were not sure. It was around this right common iliac artery. We were not sure where it is, so we took different shots. We were thinking that maybe in one of the mesenteric arteries, so what we did is that we engaged the superior mesenteric artery, and it was there in one of its branches. So again, we were trying to retrieve it through balloon-assisted technique, a balloon-assisted retrieval. So we took a C2 catheter, and we tried to cross it with a BMW guide wire, but unfortunately, we were able to cross it, but the support of this catheter was not good. So again, the support was not good. Again, we were trying to localize this piece of catheter in different views. So we took another catheter that was a straight tip soft heart fail catheter. This time we were able to cross the lumen of this broken catheter, and we wired it We inflated 2 into 12 balloon with low pressure distal to the tip of this catheter, and we pulled the whole assembly, and you can see so this we successfully retrieved it through femoral sheath. After that, a successful BAV was done. Patient was asymptomatic, hemodynamically stable throughout this whole procedure. So what points we learned from this case is that all hardware should be handled gently, carefully, and should be checked for integrity. Never apply brake to your efforts once you break your inventory. Must have knowledge of anatomy and devices and its usage in such a dreadful situation. Have faith in Allah Almighty and fight for your patient well-being. Thank you.
Any comment from the chairpersons?
Nice case done, and honestly speaking, it's really wonderfully treated. And whatever the efforts you have done, it's really too good. I do understand it will be taking much more time, especially in this case of retrieving this piece of this catheter from peripheral system, and that's really wonderfully done. Nicely done case.
It was Boston scientific company, and I think the catheter was reused catheter, the IMA catheter, so that's why reused catheter, and that was excessive manipulation. My God.
From audience?
Which catheter you took, or rather the pediatric colleagues you said they started the procedure. Which catheter they used and for what purpose?
They used IMA catheter to cross the aortic valve. Probably initially they tried GR catheter, but might be the aortic. They were unable to cross it with the GR, the wire, so they took IMA catheter then.
Was it a JR or multi-purpose?
IMA catheter, yeah.
IMA catheter.
It was not reuse, rather it was we can see it was ETO.
Not really.
It was not reused, but you can say the time was passed, and we can say it in a simple word, it was expired. But we had ETO it, so that was the reason.
So wonderful recovery from a very unusual complication. एक वही पॉइंट हम उस वक्त डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि जब आप कोरोनरीज के अंदर से क्रॉस कर रहे थे कैथेटर के अक्रॉस, उस वक्त यू वर आउट ऑफ दैट ब्रोकन पार्ट. सो उस वक्त हम कह रहे थे कि ये पीछे खींचा ये तो एओर्टा में फ्री हो जाएगा. सो ये अनयूजुअल कॉम्प्लिकेशन है, वी आर नॉट यूजुअली रेडी फॉर इट. इसीलिए थैंक यू वेरी मच आपने ये केस प्रेजेंट किया. अगर हम लोग कभी इसमें हों तो द ट्रिक वाज के आइदर तो इसको पकड़ें किसी तरह स्नेयर करके, और अगर आपने सिर्फ बैलून से पुल करना है तो यू शुड बी ऑन द वायर सो दैट ये बिल्कुल फ्री ना हो सके.
I think we thought that we are in the lumen of catheter.
One more thing I want to
we
add
have
on.
to check it in different. We didn't check it in different angles that we are inside the lumen of the catheter.
When you are pulling it out, तो आप कैथेटर को जो है ना, जो आपका लेफ्ट मेन का एंगेज हुआ है उसको थोड़ा सा डीप एंगेज करते हैं, and then pulling it out as a one unit. Then आपका जो broken part of the catheter है, that will be inside of the catheter, and you can dislodge and you can disengage all the assembly as such. So that is one of the method कि जिसमें आप catheter को directly towards LCX, जैसे इसमें catheter broken piece of catheter फंसा हुआ था, तो उसके अंदर वहाँ पे अंदर डाल के फिर उसके बाद उसको pull out करते हैं.
Can I comment, because I did this case. My pediatric colleague was doing, I was called that this had happened. So your point is very valid. We should have checked in different projection. We checked in single projection because there was panic by the pediatric colleague, and we thought we are inside catheter, but we were wrong.
Yes. कैथेटर जो साइज ली जाती है तो वो थोड़ा सा बड़ा हो तो ज़्यादा बेहतर है ताकि डिलीवरी जो है वो आसानी से हो सके.
We had 7 French guide.
Okay, that's correct.
Dr.
What was the size of a balloon you took for the retrieve of this catheter piece?
It was 212 or 215.
212 balloon. It was a 212 balloon.
What comes in my mind that when there is a embolized broken part of the catheter or something like that, it is embolized into the coronary. So should we keep it in mind that before going to this technique by crossing the balloon and then pulling it, as we have observed that this complication has occurred, there are two other techniques in my knowledge that multiple wires are taken and that broken part is entangled among that and it is pulled. There will be less chances of further embolization or snaring it from that. So why it came in your mind that you have tried this method for retrieving the broken part?
Because this was the safest among all the you mentioned. It were in our mind, but it was safer because the diagnostic catheter 5 French it can accommodate undeflated balloon, and we were very much sure that we could cross inside the catheter. But what we made a mistake that we did not check in different projection. Probably it was an in REO or EP caudal, but we should have checked in 2 or 3 different projection so that we are sure inside the catheter.
I think this was the easiest and the safest method to retrieve the catheter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.